Hello, and you're all very welcome along to the latest Champ.ie podcast, Ireland's premier horse racing podcast in association with Boyle Sports, Gorham Park Racecourse, EJ Menswear and Shamrock Thoroughbreds.
As they race up the hill towards the finish, Hart the Herald here on Perry Pass has absolutely bolted up under Paul Townend. On Perry Pass won by wide margin. On the final 150 yards, it's Irish Point for Marie National, who's coming with every stride. They're going to the line. Irish Point, Marie National on the near side.
If you haven't already, be sure to like this video and subscribe to the Champ.ie YouTube channel, as it helps to get horse racing content out there to the wider audience. We look forward to reading all your hashtag 5cast selections in the comments section below. Enjoy the show.
Boyle Sports. Don't just bet, choose wisely.
Yeah, hello and welcome back to the Champ.ie podcast, episode number 41 of the season. Season number 6, of course, Punchestown week. And on a weekend, I suppose, after a weekend, should I say, that the Royal County Meath get themselves back to a Leinster final, Tom. It'd be rude not to get you on. Thomas Coyle, welcome back to the Champ.ie podcast. One of the founding fathers. Big weekend for the Royals.
Yeah, great, Barry. Great to finally 15 years of a drought of beating the Dubs or getting one over on them. So, yeah, a bit of excitement in the county this morning. The old phone was really buzzing last night with a few boys. But, yeah, great. Look, Leinster still not won. 2 weeks we've allowed. You have a bit of interest there. So, probably a bit of a grudge match for Louth, so it should be a bit of crack over the next
there'll be a bit of added spice in that now, Tom. And well, the county's red and white up here at the moment, and just looking, I suppose, at the betting as well. When it opened up, I think Louth are even money favourites, but I think that's flip-flop. So look forward to it, Tom. Look forward to the Leinster final and the Royal County back in the big time. Let's see how they can get on the racing this week, Tom. It is Punchestown week. We have an 8-race card to look forward to, of course, on the Tuesday of Punchestown, and day-by-day videos coming this week, and of course, once again, the show in association with Gorham Park, our racecourse partner, Boyle Sports, our betting partner, of course, EJ Menswear up in Sligo, and Shamrock Thoroughbreds as well. And we look forward to daily videos right throughout the week. But Tom is supposed to kick us off 2:30. By the way, I should say our special guest on this episode is a man that rode Lecky Watson to win the Brown Advisory at the Cheltenham Festival. SeanOKeeffe, will be hearing from Sean, building up to Lecky Watson's, of course, Punchestown appearance later on the show. But let's kick it off, Tom, the 2:30. By the way, we do encourage our viewers, and the participation has been brilliant all season, and we encourage our viewers to put their selections down below. Our April prize draw, we will draw it at the end of the week to be in with a chance, of course. We have 8 races at Punchestown each and every day. Put in your selections, and of course you must have 3 winners or more to qualify for the draw. So we'll do that draw at the end of the week. Kildare Hunt Club, of course, cross country chase, a race, Tom, that I don't have a massive opinion in race number 1. I'm going to leave this one to you to try find us a winner. But it's been 7 years since we had a winning favourite in the race. Last year's winner currently priced up, I think, best price 5-1. Knockhill Singe for Peter Flood, and Georgie Benson will be taking off the 7. What way do you see the opener? 7 years since we've had a winning favourite. Do you think we'll have a big price winner, or what are you siding with?
No, I look, course form is a lot around here, Barry, and if they're going to do what they done last year, they keep it uncomplicated and bounce out in front. Look, he's had a couple of spins in the Banks race around Lingstown this year as well. He has bumped into the favourite of Dennis Murphy's. He's a little bit to turn around with him. Dennis has a great record in this race as well, and Jeff Hendrick is a good point-to-point rider. He's definitely ridden over 20-plus point-to-point wins, so he's good value for his 7 as well. But I just think course form, I think Peter Flood, I know Peter well through the years. I'd be hoping, look, age is a bit against the horse as well, but they keep it uncomplicated like they did last year. It jumped like a buck. Georgie got a good spin out of it, so I'd be siding with him. I just thought one maybe that has a bit of experience over the Banks as well, and each way price for Tom Draper is Tech Talk. He's in around 12-1. He's good form over the Banks as well, and is a regular, so at least, you know, he's going to nearly get you around. Tom, he's doing well. He had a good second in Fairyhouse. He's unlucky. Volleymaster was just bet. To be fair, Charlie O'Dwyer done some heroics at the last to get up and beat him again. But at least, you know, his horse is informed. The horse goes around the course, is good. Takes the Banks well, so he could be an each way price as well to play in it.
Looking ahead to race 2, Tom, which is the 305, of course, at Punchestown on day 1, the Tuesday. The Albert Barta Triple Crown Series final handicap hurdle over the 2 miles and 3.5 furlongs. And you've a couple in here. I think you thought Gavin Cromwell had a nice hand to play in race 2, which is the 305.
Yeah, I have to say it's a great series as well, because it gives the lesser horses a bit of a chance. Like it's all the qualifiers are nearly 120 below, So, and if you win one, you get in, so it's good. So you've a wider spectrum of trainers as well, and a lot of the English are over as well. I thought Gordon had a good hand, all right. Obviously Heart or Dark, it's plain to see he's a 140 chaser. He's a
Gavin, you mean? Gavin, you're talking about, yeah.
Gavin Cromwell, sorry. He's a 140 chaser and he's 118. Didn't run a whole lot. He won it with Wexford Maiden Hurdle and only had maybe 2 or 3 more runs, and they went straight chasing with him. You'd be just hoping that Gavin would have him fairly right. Look, he was a good second in the Leinster National behind Oliver McKiernan's horse. He was only nabbed on the line, so you would think he'd have a chance. And his other one, London Office Calling, he's become a bit of a serial winner recently. Like he's won the flat when he went to Gavin's. He had a couple of good wins for Eric McNamara before that and won. He's going to be fresh though. He hasn't run for maybe just over 100 days. So he has a good chance as well. Just on his form the last day winning Punchestown, I thought Dennis Hogan's horse might have to have a chance. They claimed 7 off the last time, but they've an interesting jockey booking up tomorrow with Harry Cobden. He is 2 or 3 pounds better off for a 3-length beaten, so that should tie him in well. So he's kind of an each way price there, 12-14 to 1. But look, it's a good competitive race. The English have a lot over as well. But they'd be 3 that I'd be throwing at the dartboard.
Yeah, it's a good series, as you mentioned, and Tune in the Box, of course, won the race last year for Tom Lacey and was a decent price as well. So they've a decent hand. But I thought Cork Cave, or Cave Court, should I say, by Cork Cave, was overpriced in the race, Tom, 20 to 1 for the Kellys coming down from County Derry. And this has been a bit of a stable start. I think he's had 18 starts over hurdles in his entire career. He's had 5 starts over fences, only 8 years of age. I know you tipped him up 2 years ago. You told me on the podcast, and I think he delivered on that occasion as well. But he won his trial back in January, Tom, and I thought he ran an absolute cracker as well at Leopardstown over Christmas, where he was second, staying on at the finish. And, so he's clearly in decent form. He's had a spin over fences last time to give him a bit of a pipe opener. That was at Ayr, but he didn't run all that bad. And I would say that this has been the plan for quite some time. Yeah. As I said, he qualified in January, and he's versatile as well. I mean, I think he's won on all types of ground, and he stays very, very well. So a good strong run race here with plenty of runners in here. I think it'll suit him. And for the Kellys, I just think Oran McGill as well. He gets on quite well with the horse. I know he's plenty of weight here to shoulder, 11 stone 10. But I thought he ticked a lot of boxes, and he's laid out clearly for the race. So yeah, 20 to 1. I thought was just a little bit too big, and that would be my each-way pick in race number 2, the Albert Barta Triple Crown Series final handicap. But moving on, Tom, the 340, which is the Killashee Hotel Handicap Hurdleistic Contest, and just looking, Woody Mullins has won 3 of the last 4 renewals. I think the shortest price Woody Mullins runner, and we don't have Paul Townend, of course, riding in the race, 14 to 1. Goucher, of course, is the shortest price to the Mullins Brigade here. So it could be a race that you could find one in here. At the moment, Lark in the morning, 5 to 1, top of the markets. Of course, Gavin Cromwell is a good hand once again. Whitful for the John Joe Neal team, that was impressive at Ayr. That's 8 to 1. Brentford Hope, I just wonder with that one a little bit of softer ground. The ground, by the way, at Punchestown is fascinating because yielding to soft as we're recording, they are watering, but I think it's to be 20 degrees tomorrow. So it's going to be drying out right throughout not just tomorrow, but through the course of the week. Very little rain scheduled. Yeah. And Harry Durham has a couple of runners in here. Ascending Lark was the one, Tom. I'll throw it into the mix first because for me, I just think this is the pick in the race for me. 5 from 5 of a hurdles, rapidly improving mare. There's 30k to the winner here. This one, after she won last time, Ascending Lark, Fairy House was mentioned. And obviously we know the way the ground turned at Fairy House. So I just thought save for this, up £14. When I say up £14, it's improved £14 this mare to the course of her short career. And, just think there could be, with a mare like this, Tom, where's the ceiling? I think Carrie Durham, that he was quoted in saying that after she won last time. She's the pick of Paul O'Brien. He obviously isn't aboard Brentford Hope, who's some form in graded and listed company. So for me, I just think, look, 7 of the last 11 winners of the race, Tom, as well, carry less than 11 stone. She's off a nice low weight ascending lark. She's going in the right direction. 10 stone 6. As we saw last year, of course, we did have some British winners on day one of the Punchestown Festival last year. I just think the prize, she ticks a lot of boxes. 10-1 for me. I thought Ascending Lark was maybe the way to decide. What are you liking here?
Yeah, look, it's an interesting race. Like Lark in the Morning is off a lovely weight, but I'd like to see a little bit more of a rejuvenation. Maybe, like, I'd say he is going to win a big pot again. Like he won the Fred Winter last year. He's definitely on the right side, but it's going to be hard maybe to pick him out, and he's a bit short for my liking. You mentioned it already, Willie's horse, Gouter, like he's a grade 2 winner in Nav, and he ran well the last day. He actually had a penalty. He was carrying the penalty for his grade, and he lost, like he was bang there jumping the last and kind of just faded out maybe in the last 100 yards. He was second 100 yards to go and finished 4th. So back into handicap company. He's interesting as well. I had one other one. Oh yeah, just if last week's didn't take much out of him, thought Noel Meade's horse ran a great race, Helvic Dream. I know the old timer Lord Erskine came and done him late, but it looked going to the last he'd Everton bet bar he came well. But I know 7 days isn't a long time, and it was heavy enough ground last week, so it'll be interesting. But if he did bounce back, he's another good each way price. But you could be right. The English might. Harry Durham has a good strong hand in this, and for the Irish, it is a tricky enough little handicap. There's nothing really sticking out with you. It's actually a small enough field for such a good handicap as well. I thought.
17 in, yeah.
Yeah, like usually that'd be a 25 runner handicap. You'd be struggling to get in. But they were the two I picked against the field, just at each way prices. But you could definitely be right, as Harry Durham has said, that mare, she could be still on the incline, so she could be still well handicapped.
Right, on to the first of the grade ones on day one of Punchestown, Tom. Of course, the 4:15. It's the champion novices hurdle, and Willie Mullins. He's won this. I thought this was interesting. He's won this eight times in the last 10 years, and 6 of the 8 were favourites. So Paul Townend and the first string tends to go well in this particular race. Three of which actually had won at Cheltenham as well. 3 of the 8 that won the race for Willie Mullins the last 10 years were actually Cheltenham winners that season. So I suppose it all points in the direction of Corporate the Boar if he brings his best form to the table. But I just thought at the prices, Tom, Salvador Mundi, could you take a chance with him, given the fact that the hood was left off last time at Aintree? He took a massive step forward. I thought he was really good at Aintree. He has the Punchestown form. We haven't seen Kopek the Boar since his big win, of course, at Cheltenham. But look at the form lines. Romeo Curio beaten 7 lengths by Kopek the Boar at Cheltenham. Salvador Mundi clearly didn't perform on that occasion. But when Salvador Mundi put his best foot forward at Aintree last time, Romeo Curio was only beaten 7 lengths by Salvador Mundi. So the form kind of, when they both put the best foot forward, the form kind of ties in. One is 4-9, the other one's 3-1. With the ground drying, is Salvador and the course form, is Salvador Mundi genuinely a play, do you think, at 3-1?
I'm going to stick with Kopek, to be honest. Just, I think as well, he's a fresher horse coming here, not going to a second festival as an Aintree. I know it's 3.5 weeks. But for me, I actually think Kopek would probably improve from that run in Cheltenham. His jumping is obviously, he'll get even slicker, I think, probably tomorrow. He probably learnt more, but he's been awesome all year from the Dublin Racing Festival to Cheltenham. He's the pick of Paul Townend, which probably says enough for me as well. But look, I can see where you're going, but I think Salvador Mundi being at 2 festivals as well, I think fresher horse and a better horse. I know but I think he'll win again tomorrow.
Right, we're going to take an ad break, and when we come back from the ad break, we're going to hear from our special guest in the show, SeanOKeeffe, and we've been building up, of course, 2 at the 3 mile 1 furlong, of course, a champion novice chase grade 1 event, Ballyburn 13-8, Lecky Watson, 11-4, top, second in the market, and of course, a grade 1 winner at the Cheltenham Festival. We'll hear from SeanOKeeffe, and then we'll be back to preview the race after this quick ad break.
From Dundalk to Longchamp, from the Galway races to the Breeders' Cup, Shamrock Thoroughbreds have taken owners all over the world.
Tiger Bell in front, holds them. Late on the scene is Dawn Charger storming home, but Tiger Bell in front and won.
Coming through the centre, Laugh a Minute with a strong challenge on this Laugh a Minute, who goes on in the closing stages to win by a length and a half. Laugh a Minute from Fiscal Roots.
But it's Harry's Bar repelling the late challenge of the stable companion Dream Today, and Harry's Bar makes it 6-course wins.
Check out ShamrockThoroughbreds.com or click the link in the Champ.ie podcast video description to learn more about new racehorse ownership opportunities.
Boyle Sports. Don't just bet. Choose wisely.
Yes, so delighted to welcome onto the Champ.ie podcast once again, a good friend of the show, SeanOKeeffe, of course, jockey, who's going great guns at the moment, three-time Cheltenham Festival winning jockey, and over 30 winners for the season once again, Sean. That's, I believe, a best season since 2021-2022.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, good. Yeah, best season than the last couple of seasons were a little bit slower. So with winners wise, so yeah, it's nice to better that again anyway, and get a nice tally. And yeah, so we've had a good year now, in fairness.
And a Wexford man originally, Sean, lost outside Lochlinbridge, County Carlow. How is life treating you locally?
Yeah, good. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, Wexford originally living up this way now. So yeah, looks a bit more central and everything, and close to Willie's there as well. So yeah, no, it's all good.
And you had a good association with Liz Doyle over the years. Obviously, Paul Nolan, you're flying it in relation to your rides for Paul Nolan as well. But big part of the Willie Mullins team. First of all, I wanted to ask you, was how have you enjoyed this season? I suppose you've been a big part overseas. Willie Mullins, obviously, as we're recording, with a big chance in the UK Trainers Championship, Sean. And I suppose looking at the key prize money, you've played a big part in that, obviously, O'Moore Park, Jump Ball, Toad Hall, and Lecky Watson all contributing with prize money. How have you enjoyed being part of the team and going for that championship, not just in Ireland, but in the UK?
Yeah, definitely. Look, it's I suppose unbelievable position for Willie to be in, to be challenging for that, to do it back to back even as well. So look, it's been brilliant to be a part of it as well, and getting the opportunities, in England as well, in Cheltenham, and then I suppose we were in Cheltenham there at the April meeting as well, and at Ayr, of course. So so look, it's great to get to go over there and ride in them days, and do what you can to try get a bit of prize money. You're riding for everything there, so every little helps too.
Absolutely, and we'll talk, I suppose, about your key winners this season and numbers, etc. But logistically, like for the viewers watching, Sean, it must be a massive operation for Claude Sutton, like to be competing this side of the water, but to have numbers on the ground over there, and just with everything that goes with it logistically, like it must be a serious undertaking from Team Claude Sutton to be even challenging, let alone to go on and win it.
Yeah, definitely. I think I suppose the team they're in, Claude Sutton, there's a huge amount of work that goes into that. David Casey was a big part of the race planning, and Patrick obviously as well, and so everyone in the office and the yard organising for all the horses to get over and everything, so I don't have to not much of a part of that. I try to turn up over there and do my job on the track, so look, a lot of work behind the scenes, and I think that they deserve a lot of credit as well, to get everything, get all the horses over there in good shape and everything as well, and a lot of work goes into that.
It must be a great atmosphere amongst the team, obviously, in recent weeks.
Yeah, that's it. I suppose it was a good Cheltenham, and I suppose things rolled on. Then to Aintree was really good and everything. So the horses were run really well, and so that everybody kind of feeds off success. So that's a boost for the whole yard. Yeah.
And I suppose when you're getting Cheltenham Festival winners, Sean, like yourself, I mean, we must come on to it. Obviously, Lecky Watson, he's entered up at Punchestown next week. He gave yourself a third Cheltenham Festival winner. Talk us through, I suppose, the build-up, the plan you had before the race and the race itself. I mean, to get another Cheltenham Festival winner, it must have been unbelievable.
Yeah, it's brilliant. Sure, that's what you dream of, when you're young, and that's what you want as a jockey. To be riding in Cheltenham, probably never thought I'd be even riding there. Never mind getting a few winners. So it's just brilliant, obviously, to get the chances on them horses in the grade ones. Like you Watson, he always promised to be a very good horse, and I was delighted when I got the leg up on him.
Were you confident heading out?
Yeah, well, I kind of knew that he could definitely run a big race. If he got everything together, like his jumping, he was 2 from 2 in chases, with some decent beating some decent horses as well, and still wasn't even jumping. Still had a room for improvement in his jumping. Look, probably thought Ballyburn was going to be hard to beat, and it was a very competitive race. But look, I knew my lad was definitely going to be there in with a good chance if he could do everything right. And she did. He jumped super on the day. Travelled really well, and everything went very smoothly. When he hit the front end to the second last, he had a right good look at the last 2 fences, and just try and keep the revs up on him then. But I think we kind of got to the last and said we can't let that come by us now at this stage. I said no.
Well, you've done us big favours on the Champ.ie podcast. We've been singing about Lecky Watson for a long time, Sean, and obviously, Lara Byrne and the Sladyville Syndicate, good supporters of the show as well. It was brilliant for the lads. I mean, talk to us about the owners. I mean, that must have been one of the loudest cheers from a group of owners when Lecky Watson came back into the parade ring. I mean, they must have been swarming around you, were they, the Byrnes and the Sladyville Syndicate?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, no, look, it was brilliant for Lara and everyone involved in the syndicate there. Did a huge crowd over, and we got a right cheer coming back in, and they were delighted. That adds to the whole occasion of it as well. When there's that many owners there, and it means a lot to them, and to Lara, and to have winners in Cheltenham as well. So that adds to everything, and delighted that I was able to repay them anyway.
Absolutely. Well, I suppose, look, the horse himself, he's been placed in a champion bumper. Obviously, ran well in the Albert Bartlett. Now he's a Brown Advisory winner. How far do you think he can go? What do you think is his biggest strengths? And could he be a Gold Cup horse, Sean, do you think, next year?
Yeah, well, look, he's progressing that way now. He's always promised that he's a horse that had plenty of ability. Like he'd raced with a hood before. He was a bit keen over hurdles, and hurdles probably got in his way a bit as well. And the fence seems to have matured him now. He's relaxing a bit more, and it was obviously a big step forward in Cheltenham as well. But look, I think he seemed a higher class race seems to suit him as well. He's a very high cruising speed. He has a couple of gears, and in fairness, he showed in Cheltenham that he can stay quite well too. So look, hopefully he'll keep progressing, and mentally he's probably coming right now. So hope there's still a big future ahead for him.
A couple of the other horses, Sean, that I wanted to mention that you've had a good partnership with this season. Back an Alien for the Queelies. You've teamed up with that horse on 3 occasions, 3 victories on him, and on Pound Darrig as well. He's been a good servant for the Nolan stable, and you've done quite well with him this season. 2 victories on board on Pound Darrig as well. I see he's entered up at Punchestown next week.
Yeah, he's had a really good season. He's probably a horse, just really came to himself towards Christmas time there. He ran plenty consistent races without ever getting his head in front, and in fairness, it was great. He popped up at Leopardstown. It's brilliant for Jim Coffey, his owner, loves to have winner in Leopardstown as well. So, we probably weren't expecting it that day. And then he seemed to progress forward again to the Dublin Racing Festival. He'd gone up, went up a bit in the weights, but he still had a light weight on the day, and he seemed to improve very well again. So I think he's entered in Punchestown too, and probably the big galloping track should suit him. I think he didn't probably getting as good a rhythm in Cheltenham this year, and probably the Leopardstown, Punchestown, similar track. Big fences, big galloping track probably seems to suit him, and hopefully there's another days with him ahead as well.
Back in Alien, would you think we'll see him this season again?
Yeah, I think he's entered for the 4-year-old Grade 1 in Punchestown as well next week. So we had a great record on him now, and big thanks to Declan Queally for letting me ride the horse, and it's worked out well. We've 3 wins on him, and he seemed to be getting better with each run. He handles the soft ground really well. And probably a relentless galloper in the soft ground. So, but look, he's a horse that's improving with each run as well. Declan's doing a super job with him. Look, there's probably no reason why he won't handle the spring ground as well. But he'll be a horse that has a big future as well. He's being only a 4-year-old.
He's a big horse, isn't he? Big horse.
Yeah, he is. Like you wouldn't. He's not your typical flat horse. He looks like a big chaser, really. So. He obviously has the pedigree and the sire and everything, and seems to be able to stay really well. So I think he's a horse that'll have a big future ahead.
You're talking about Punchestown. Look, obviously, I wanted to mention 2 horses that were, I suppose, big springboards in your career. Obviously, Galloping the Champ. You won on him at Cheltenham, of course, in the Martin Pipe. He's got on to great things since. Energumene, as well as another horse that, when you were on board, you had a really good record on. 2 of those horses, how are they, I suppose, heading into Punchestown? And obviously, Energumene's entered up at the weekend as well as we're recording. But how are the 2 ahead of the back end of the season?
Look, I've seen 2 of them on the gallops there, looking in pretty good shape, well in themselves, and I'm sure that they'll be ready to go again for next week. Energumene, I suppose he's been an incredible horse as well. He probably just hasn't got his ground as such this year, and being a bit older, he probably does need the softer ground. But I think there's still definitely another day in him for him to pop back up again. It's amazing to get the spin on him in Cork as well that day. It was brilliant to ride them. Real top Grade 1 horses, and I suppose Galloping the Champ was another one. I suppose he didn't know what he was going to be back when I rode him now in the Martin Pipe.
Had you any sort of an idea? Did you think this horse is going to go on and win Grade 1s over fences at the time, or was it a big surprise?
No, well, look, I suppose I knew he won pretty easily on the day. Now, in fairness, he was a dream riding the day. He did everything super. He got me there so easy, traveling to the last, and it couldn't have happened any better on the day. I knew he was a horse that with a big engine. I suppose he was a horse that was probably rapidly improving at the time as well. I think he went and won the Grade 1 3-mile novice, the Punchestown then, and he probably even he improved again when he went chasing. The fence in front of him. So look, it was hard to know what he was going to be at that time, but look, he's an incredible horse, and I owe him a lot as well. He kind of started my association with Willie Mullins as well, so he's big help to me in my career as well.
Absolutely. And speaking about, I suppose, about young horses and what they might go on to achieve, obviously it's early doors in the career of the 2 novices I'm going to mention, but you rode in both the Supreme Novices Hurdle this season and the Paddymore, Sean, and Final Demand and Copic de Boer went with big reputations to the Cheltenham Festival. What did you make of both? I suppose Final Demand over fences long term, you'd have to think he could be a smashing prospect. Copic de Boer as well. They look 2 seriously good novices. What was your thoughts on them at Cheltenham?
Definitely. Final Demand, I think he's a horse that'll have a big future as well. Slower ground seems to help him as well. He handles soft ground very well. But I'm sure when he goes over fences, he's going to be a real 3-mile chaser type. And he's, you could definitely see him developing into top 3-mile staying novice chaser next season. And Copic de Boer is a horse that I really do like. In fairness, look, I suppose he showed what a big engine he's had on the track this year. He's I think he's something special, really. He's a horse that I rode work early in the season, and he blew me away now. And look, he's gone on to to show that in the track every day as well. So I'd say the horse that might be better when he gets the fence too. He'll have a bit more respect for a fence as well. He can jump very well. And so look, wherever he goes, it's going to take something very good to beat him for sure. Anyway, going forward.
Speaking of respect for fences, I mean, what do you do with Ballyburn now? I mean, the engine is there, Sean, but is it something you could maybe see? Like, I mean, back over hurdles, could he be? We know the form he had as a novice hurdler. I mean, what do you do with Ballyburn now?
Yeah, well, I suppose that's that's the question, and I'm sure Willie Mullins now is the man to know what to do with him. But look, so everyone, suppose has their different opinions. But look, I think he's well able to jump, and things just didn't happen in Cheltenham for him for whatever reason. But I suppose he'd gone from running over 2 miles to running over 3 miles. So I think his jumping can definitely be a lot better, and I wouldn't rule him out as a chaser yet. Whether he'll have a crack in Punchestown over fences again, that'll probably tell a lot maybe going towards next season. But he's a horse with a huge engine as well, and if he can get things right, he's a very, very talented horse on his day.
2 horses, obviously, that are going to be coming through the bumper sphere. I mean, I'm sure you'd be dreaming of putting your leg over either one of these, but Cassar Fatal won the Docks bumper at Gorham Park, and at the weekend as well, we saw a really smart performance by Dr. de Mesnil. They look 2 smashing prospects.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, there's a lot of nice bumper horses coming through there, and Willie probably didn't have as many bumper winners early in the season, but they're 2 really nice horses. Star Fatal and Dr. Dumesnil was impressive in Cork. I thought he probably showed more when he's got on the racetrack as well. And in fairness, the mare that won the champion bumper, Bambino Fever, I think she could be something special going forward as well. She seems to be rapidly improving, and I think them kind of horses that improve that quickly with their runs and that much, you never know where they could end up, I suppose.
Would you expect the 3 of them to take high rank as novice hurdlers?
Yeah, you definitely would. There's a lot of there'll be a lot of nice horses there, and I'm sure there'll be some probably coming from France and things, and the Point fields as well. But they'd all be definitely up high on the list. I'd imagine next season as novice hurdlers.
Finally, Sean, just 3 horses, obviously, that you threw your leg over at the festival before we wrap up. Kappa, Japike, Carbo, and Lady Vega Allen. Of the 3 of those, I suppose, which of them? I know you didn't ride Lady Vega Allen at the Cheltenham Festival, you're at Leopardstown, but of the 3 of those, I suppose, do you think there's more to come from them?
Yeah, definitely. Lady Vega Allen is a mare I like, all right. And apparently she ran a cracker again in Cheltenham. She's run, I suppose, 3 really good races there without getting her head in front.
What's her biggest asset, Sean, do you think?
I think she's tough. I think she's tough and she's honest. And I think she probably stays pretty well. She could be a mare that maybe be better, even getting up in trip a bit next season as well. So I think she'll have an exciting future. I thought Capital Pike ran a good enough race in Cheltenham, and he'll probably make a nice chaser next season. Along with Carbo, he's a very good jumper, and he ran well back in Aintree. Probably didn't disappoint a little bit in Cheltenham, but he had a good run back in Aintree, and he could be a nice horse going novice chasing next year too.
Sean, I suppose before we do wrap up, yourself, I suppose, ambitions for the year ahead, goals. We just said that obviously you've broke the 30 mark in terms of winners, and you've struck up great partnerships, not just with Willie, but obviously Paul Nolan. We mentioned the Queelies, John Ryan as well. But goals for yourself within the next sort of 12 months. What would you love to achieve in the next 12 months? And before you finish riding, Sean, what's the one race you'd love to win? Is it the Gold Cup or is it a different one?
Yes, well, the Gold Cup and Grand National, I suppose they're the two big races. I suppose the Grand National is probably the race when you're a child that you'd always, growing up, that you'd always dream of winning. And obviously the Gold Cup, that's where you're going to be riding the top horses. To win that would be amazing. But I suppose up the season going forward, hopefully we can maybe better the winners tally again. You know, that would be probably the first kind of aim. Probably try to do that every year. So you know, look, just there's many nice rides and winners, and you know, hopefully in like this year, Nick, a grade one in Cheltenham along the way. That you know that they're kind of winners that makes the year. So hopefully, if we could do something like that again next season, it'd be super as well.
Boyle Sports. Don't just bet, choose wisely.
Yes, great to hear from, of course, our special guest, SeanOKeeffe, building up to Punchestown this week. It was great for him to get, of course, a grade one winner at the Cheltenham Festival with the Brown Advisory winner, Lecky Watson, who got his day in the sun, of course. Tom, Ballyburn 13-8, Lecky Watson 11-4. 3 mile one around Punchestown over fences. I know which way I'm leaning. What about you? Lecky Watson for me.
Yeah, look, I have to say I was late onto the bandwagon with Lecky Watson, but you've been blowing his trumpet for a while, and yeah, like at the prices for me, he's probably the bet of the race. Like Ballyburn can be visually so good at times, but he's been very disappointing at times, and that Cheltenham run would definitely leave you with something for the imagination. Didn't jump well, just never got into a rhythm where Lecky Watson was further he went, the better he went. So for me, yeah, like Ballyburn has a lot still to prove. Lecky Watson has done nothing wrong this year, so I'd be.
He's unbeaten over fences, Tom. He's 3 from 3, Lecky Watson. The ground dry and not going to inconvenience him.
No,
he's a course winner over fences at Punchestown. We only had 3 winning favourites in the last 11 years in this particular race, so can throw up one. And
and I'm actually going to throw one at you. What about Slade Steele? Look, we haven't seen a whole lot of him. He is a supreme novice winner. He's stepping markedly up in trip again. Henry's had a he hit and miss sort of kind of year, but at 12-1, like he is a good horse. Probably disappointed. He's only had the 2 runs over fences. Obviously, if you're going to lose your novice tag, do it in a grade 1. That's why he's probably in here. I just think he's an interesting horse in this race now, so he is.
The 5:25 contest, which is the Goffs Defenders bumper. Once again, Tom, no opinion in the race, I have to be honest. Rob Cora can say have won 2 of the last 3, and Gordon has won 5 of the last 9. And Gordon's runner, of course, with Harry Swan on board. Santa Sopier is a course and distance winner and does have that run under his belt. Do you think they want to beat, or what about Willie Mullins as a leader, de Boer? You'd have to be very respectful of it, wouldn't you? 200k, I think, is a store.
Yeah, look, we're going on reputations here more than anything. We haven't got much form, but look, Gordon, as you said, course and distance form will stand to him. Just thought the Crawfords have 3 in here, but interesting jockey booking with Barry O'Neill. 2 of them have 1 point of points. So like there'll be nice horses to get a good education up there with the Crawfords. They'll be well drilled for a bumper as well, so it could be interesting. As I say, like it's hard to pick out. We're going on reputation here, but obviously Willie at 200,000, you're definitely going to be looking, and he's the pick of Paddy, so he'd stick out. But just keep an eye on the Crawford's horses going to the future. Obviously 2-1, both have won first time out. Stephen O'Connor rides the other one, who would be their stable jockey. So look, they're both in around 12-1, the same prices, but they could be horses for the future.
Factifile over 2 miles, Tom. Would you be with or do you oppose? Grade 1 contest. It is the, of course, champion chase, the feature on day 1 of the Cheltenham of the Punchestown Festival, should I say? And having his first run over 2 miles, Factifile, since running in the champion bumper when he finished second a couple of seasons ago. 3 winning favourites in the last 4 years. I think he's rock solid. I think he's the bet of the day. If you're getting even money on Factifile in the morning tomorrow, I'd say fill your boots, Tom. I think he could be a champion chase horse next year.
Yeah, you were saying this to me earlier. I just wonder, drop back in trip, will he bounce out and make it, and maybe put a target on his back for Marine National to have one go with him coming down to the last. It should be an interesting race. Obviously, like he's been so good this year, Factifile. But yeah, look, it's a market for him not to run over 2 miles, as you say, till the champion bumper. Obviously, they've always thought he was going to go further and further, and obviously they were trying to make him into a Gold Cup horse. And look, he landed in the Ryanair, and it was the right race for him this year. Look, it's a good bit of placing again, because maybe the Champion Chase division wasn't as strong, and where we've got Marine National here as well. But I just wonder, it might be a bit cat and mouse. Sean Flanagan, he'll be delighted, I'd say, if Factifile jumps off in front and he'll have that target on his back. And I'd imagine he'll have one go. We have to give credit to Barry Connell as well. Look, that horse he's a Champion Chase winner. He's a Supreme Novice winner. He's no back marker either. So, look, I wouldn't dismiss him either, but it should be a good race.
What about Factifile? I mean, earlier on the season, people were talking about the John Durkin being the race for the ages. Now, I know Gallop and the Champ ran a good race in that John Durkin and came out afterwards. And we know how resolute Gallop and the Champ is, but maybe with the likes of Spallanstown, Factifile, did that race maybe leave its mark? I just wondered if we see the real Factifile in the middle part of the season. He took a massive step forward, obviously, in the Ryanair. And just looking at RPRs and ratings, I mean, according to the Racing Post and the RPRs, Tom, Allaho is the only horse to have ever performed better in a Ryanair chase. I mean, I include Vatour in that conversation. I think RPRs 177, a career best for Factifile in the Ryanair chase. I think Vatour was only 175 in RPR. So it was a really, really good performance. Obviously, did the race fall into his lap a little bit, perhaps? But his jumping, I think that's the big thing you can take from Factifile, is how well he jumps and how well he stays in his races. Maybe not over 3 miles, but certainly over 2.5. And I'd expect the same over 2. I think he'll see out. I think he'll be able to go very, very fast for a long time and jump brilliant to give himself a big, big chance here. I think if you're getting even money here, I just think this division as well, going into next year, to me, it looks very, very open. Marine National, we said the race fell into the lap fell into the lap really for Factifile. I think it also fell into the lap of a Marine National in the Champion Chase. The ground drying is going to suit, but Factifile, I can't see, if he brings his A game here, I cannot see any other result in the 2 mile Champion Chase, which is the penultimate 6 o'clock on day one of Punchestown. 6:35, Tom. It is the Willie Coonan Memorial National Hunts flat race, of course. And Eric McNamara with the favourite in here. Finney Maguire, 3-1, top of the market, starting 15. This was well backed on its debut and ran an absolute great race on debut to finish second. That was at Limerick on soft ground. Did he cock his jaw a little bit, though? I thought he didn't really want to go through with it. I thought he came there with every single chance, and I question his attitude now. What about you?
Yeah, you could do all right. Yet again, we're going on. There's not a whole lot of form, and we're going on sort of trainers and this and that. You're right about that. Look, Paddy Toomey's horse as well. He's a bit of experience. Was probably unlucky. Got a bump kind of before they turned in Thurles and kind of landed in front and was kind of just shot down at the end. Look, it's a Punchestown bumper. You know yourself, he can throw up wild winners as well. I just thought one that was interesting, again, kind of barking on about him, but Gavin Cromwell has recruited one that won a point for Derek O'Connor, and Derek is riding it, so he's staying loyal to it. So it could be a bit of interest there as well. Yeah, look, it's, you know yourself, it's the end of the season. There's a lot of horses that have been primed for a bumper in Punchestown, so could be big winners. So, but I just thought maybe Gavin's got a bit of an each way price coming from Derek's and Derek staying loyal to him. So
loved what I saw on the, when I say I loved what I saw when I actually backed Eagle of Destiny and she got beat on debut, but I thought she travelled through the race lovely, and I think, you know, greenness and inexperience caught her out. As you mentioned, she got a bump, she went wide off the turn at Thurles. That was on good ground. It's we're talking about times here. It's going to be 6:35, so you're going to be racing on the nicest part of the ground. You'd have to think by the end of the day. And Eagle of Destiny, I just thought she ran through a race lovely. She's going to be getting weight as well off the 4-year-old geldings here. And Paddy Toomey won this race, Tom, in 2015. Yeah,
and I can guarantee you that Barry O'Neill won't be in front as far out as he was the last time. He'll definitely have something with a target on his back. I'd say he learned a little bit of a lesson maybe from riding her the last day. So he knows more. So, and look, Barry O'Neill is as good a jockey as he can get as well. So he's definitely a plus to having his back. But I think that experience and maybe a stronger run race and a better race with more horses to take him into it will definitely suit him as well.
Yeah, Tom, just touching upon yourself as well. Obviously, last year, a real good season for yourself and the team. Obviously, with a small team of horses, you've grown, obviously, the numbers really building up, obviously, of late. And heading into the new season, of course, summer jumps and the flat campaign, you look well stocked. But 44% strike rate to win and place from your runners. I mean, 6 runners, 4 winners, 14 places. Your horses were hitting the frame the whole time last year. And I presume, it's all systems go for the summer campaign. And just to mention as well, Heads Up, I know you were on the show heading up to the Cheltenham Festival, and we give a big strong mention to Heads Up, who actually went on to finish, I don't even know what price it was in the end, was it 40 to 1 maybe in the champion bumper, pre-trained by yourself?
Yeah, he came through our hands. John's very good. We've done a lot of pre-training, probably not as much now because thankfully our own numbers have come up. Like we've 18 riding out of our own at the minute, which is great. We've had a few runners. I think we've run 6 so far this season. We were probably saying we were 3 weeks behind and we were going to give a few a run to bring them on. But look, I think 2 out of the 6 were actually placed. Dibble Butter ran a great race. He just bumped into a Gavin Cromwell, handicapped horse, but he was 13 lengths clear of the rest, which he got a little slap on the wrist. But he's come on leaps and bounds for that run. He runs in 2 weeks' time. We'd be hoping we could have a good summer campaign with him. Look, we've stocked up. We've got a few nice handicappers in as well. We've acquired Run Forest Run, who's won 5 or 6. Wants a bit of soft ground, but he needed a run and he's really bouncing at the minute. So if he can get in somewhere, and look, we've got a few unrated
Manhattan Dandy and Selective Power, great service last year as well.
Yeah, they're all ready to go. Selective Power, he won 2 for us. He won up a good handicap up the Curragh. He's ready to go next Monday in the Curragh again. He'll start off his campaign. We've a few nice fillies unraced, 3-year-olds that are starting to just turn the key, and we're liking what we're seeing. But look, it's great. Everton, there's a lot of dreams at the minute. So yeah, look, numbers are way up, which is great. And we probably could have got bigger, but we actually said no. We built a few more boxes, and we said no because if we can contain this number and keep our stats as good, we'll go again. But we want to make sure we can do the horses right as well. So look, it's going to be a big season for us, hopefully, and we can get the ball rolling and maybe hopefully get a little bit bigger in the next coming season. But look, for us, we need to get a few results and get it going.
Absolutely, we got results last year. Just to touch on Jimmy Ryan as well and his success, big part in your stable success last year. But James, of course, going on to win the champion. That must give you great satisfaction to see James go on and win the champion.
Look, it was great. Like he rode 3 winners for us, and he won the championship by 2. We're not just saying it was our 3 winners, but it's lovely to be part of that. Like he rode 33 winners, so to give him 10%, nearly 10% of his winners was a great thing. And look, he's brilliant and he's very driven. He's very driven young lad, I have to say, and he will be going places. He's got a good job with Jack Davison now. He's in Ger Lyons' Tom McCourt is where he was, but he's good men around him. And look, he's a big cog in our wheel as well. And I would say Rob Weirty is very good as well. Like the 2 boys ride. They're our riders on the flat, and I can't praise the 2 of them enough. If I ring them and say, lads, screen tomorrow at lunchtime, they're there for me. So look, hopefully we can repay them now with a few winners for the summer.
Wish you all the best, Tom, and really looking forward to following the stable success once again. And one of the founding fathers of the Champ.ie podcast, Thomas Coyle. It's hard to believe we're in season 6, episode 41. Thanks very much to the viewers as well for their participation right throughout the season. Once again, to all our special guests as well throughout the campaign. We're day-by-day videos right throughout the week of Punchestown. Tom, we look forward to catching up once again. Best of luck for the summer. Before you go, best bet on day 1 of Punchestown. What are you going to go with? Nap and next best. What are you siding with?
For my nap, I am going to go with Lecky Watson. I'll be on your bandwagon. And for an each way next best, I like Goucher in the handicap 14 to 1.
Yeah, well, I think if you're getting even money about Fact to File as we're recording in the morning, I think fill your boots. That's going to be my nap at even money. And Lecky Watson, yeah, look, I just think he's He's too big at 11-4. I know Willie has plenty in the race, and this race can sometimes throw up a surprise or two. But I just think if he brings his best form to the table, he's going to be the next best. For episode number 41 in association with Gowan Park Boyle Sports, EJ Menswear and Shamrock Thoroughbreds. Thanks again for watching, and let us know your selections down below. Very best of luck.
Boyle Sports. Don't just bet. Choose wisely.